Hello, beautiful soul. So, I've got this story that I would like to tell you. Yesterday, I was talking to my good friend Kelly, who was my health coach, and she said that she had a man who was just too ambitious. He had, within a few months from now, he wanted to learn to master how to do karate, to do yoga, and sort of 5 of these goals, which are really, really ambitious. And usually he has this kind of plans, but they don't really work out because they're just too ambitious. And she also talked about some experiences that she had with clients that sometimes they know what is good for them, they know all the techniques, but they just do not apply them. And the same counts as well for my recovery program. And this morning, I got a message from a woman, and she had all sorts of goals, and she asked me, Daniel, how can I get the motivation to do it? And my immediate response that I replied was, if you don't have motivation to do something, then you usually don't want to do something. And that's exactly how I look at it. In the alignment program, it is all about doing what resonates with you. And if it doesn't give you joy, then don't do it. Of course, you have to do certain things. But when I was still a teacher, it's like a long time ago, I was 1 day a week working on a primary school to help there with the class. And there was a fixed program every day, year in, year out, day in, day out. Just the teacher decided what was going on for the entire class. Some kids loved it. Most kids hated it. And when they didn't want to do something, they were tricked. They were manipulated, saying things like, if you don't do this, then there will be a consequence. Like you don't make it in life, or you become a loser, or you end up on the street, or you get a bad grade, or you don't go to the next year. So it's a fear-based motivation technique. I mean, it works for a while, but what I found out that the children, by the time they were like 10 or 11 years old, it didn't really work anymore. They were just fed up with it. And the same thing that we have learned via this way of parental and teacher techniques, we apply that on ourselves. We easily come out of a place of discomfort, emotionally discomfort, and we try to compensate it via all kinds of things that we think that we need motivation for. And then there are motivational videos to make you feel like an adrenaline rush to do a certain kinds of goal, to reach your goal, because that is what it's all about. Well, I've reached many goals in life. Really, I think like sometimes I'm still amazed at all the goals that I realized in life, what I accomplished. But didn't really bring me anything? No. All the goals that I got were just distractions. And it didn't bring me joy. And if you've seen my other videos, there is one video that I talk about that, like, joy is actually the message from your body that you're doing things right. You're in alignment with yourself. And from that moment on, your health will improve, and you'll start self-actualizing, which is the top needs on Maslow's pyramid. But yet, sometimes we know what is good for us, but we're still in a state of apathy. So what is apathy? Is the things that we impose on ourselves, is that really only mind-based and our body just doesn't want to deal with it anymore? Maybe it gives us a depression, or just apathy. You can't really do anything. You listen at my videos, but you don't apply it. What is apathy for things that are good for you? Or is your body just so fed up with you, and are you so out of alignment that sometimes when it gives you a little bit of motivation that you misuse it for doing all sorts of things that your mind thinks that is good for you? I think that's a good question to ask. Maybe you can dive into the apathy if you're having it. Or maybe you can steer yourself back to having joy, doing things that comes naturally via you. You see, normal and natural are two completely different things. And most things that are normal in this world are completely unnatural. If you have a dog, then you'd see what natural behavior is. I mean, he's just totally himself. But humans are sort of in their own way. And while you're in your own way, you sort of block the energy. And you block the life flow that you have. And while you're having all these goals from the mind, I found out recently a lot more examples as well. I'd say that life is something that flows, and the mind wants to label it. For example, if you're with someone, you're having a good time, you want to label it as having a relationship. But then you're trying to fit things into a box, and also desires you can put into a box. But the problem is that life will stop flowing, and then things will only break down from that. So if we don't have the trust to let life flow, then we're just out of alignment, out of sync. So my point is that if you don't have a lot of motivation, try doing things that give you joy and continue that path. And I'm sure it's going to lead you to beautiful situations, a beautiful life. And I'm sure in that way of following life and following the stream of energy, there will be things that you have to leave behind, things that no longer work for you, things that were great in the past, but it no longer serves you. Then we have to practice letting go. But for now, follow your joy, follow your bliss. It's probably the best thing that Alan Watts ever said. Do what gives you joy. Bye.